Yes.
Yeah. It's Sunday.
Yeah.
Guess what we were talking about, right?
Fucking BO.
Right before the fucking... Right before we came on.
I ain't gonna talk about it.
It's just so funny. It's like sometimes I kind of want to like turn it on earlier just before you know that it's on. Just so you
saying crazy shit.
Because you just be like sniffing your armpit and being like, man, I smell really bad.
Yeah.
It's all that like testosterone and shit. Oh my god. That's why people love this show, because we're just like disgusting.
Fucking all those
pigs.
exogenous sex hormones.
I guess though.
Yeah.
Okay, hopefully everybody can hear us. Hopefully everything is working correctly. I am still so happy. I think I said this at the end of the show last night, but it's like I'm still so fucking happy that we got a whole fucking 4-hour and 20-minute show, and we didn't lose the stream like one single time.
You need to defrag that fucking laptop fucking regularly. That's what did it. Fucking whoever said that down in the comment section was right.
Well, it's supposed to do it automatically, like every now and then, but I don't know.
I don't trust
them
damn machines. Why you trusting machines? The dudes that make those things don't even know how they work. They're just building on top of other shit. That, hey, you got that new mod, right? Yeah, put that in there. They don't know how that shit's
Well, like I said, it's all kind of a kludge.
They kind of pretend they know what it is, man. There's shit going on inside them fucking... Them circuits are so small, it's like only a little bit bigger than a damn electron. You know what I mean? Fucking... They don't know what they're doing. They're not sure.
Everything's like emergent properties.
It's emergent properties. They go, that shit worked. I can't fucking believe it, man. Put that other program in there. That worked too.
Well, now look what it's doing. Yeah. We didn't plan that.
You see that shit? Yeah. Run one of those. What do they call them? AI algorithm. Yeah, put one of those in there. It'll figure it out. It'll censor some shit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Bees Nest says we should give the laptop an injection of test. It couldn't hurt. I mean, at this stage.
Give that bitch Clomid.
I'll just kind of stick it into into the... There's nowhere to stick it, really. Just, you know, other than that, I don't know. But, hopefully you guys...
That's right. Phil Down says Tom is not a number, he's a free man. You guys know what that is. Straight out of fucking Iron Maiden.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show last night. We had a good time. I think it came out pretty good. We got a little bit drunk, but not super hammered. I feel like I kept my shit together, so that's something. So I was kind of proud of myself. Like I said, it helped that the fucking stream didn't drop, and I didn't get frustrated. Yeah. So here's what we did. Like, I didn't really... I don't know. So, like I said, the matinee show, usually we do new movies, or newish movies, because, I can't find new ones all the time. It's, so I can go back a few years. But then we watched, like, the same night that we watched this new movie, Climax, newish, we also watched a movie from the 70s, just at random, which was on Amazon Prime, called Bug, which I'd never seen before. And I was like, I know that this is technically, matinee is supposed to be newer movies and movie retrospective to be older movies, but we only do movie retrospective once a week. So there's a lot of movies that, we watch, like, that are old, but they don't have, enough, I guess, info or enough, like, shit about them that you can do, like, a whole fucking movie retrospective about it. So I said, well, fuck it. We're just going to put them on the same show. Why not? Yeah. I overthink things. You know how it is.
Yeah. It worked.
So there's like, since I keep like having all these like weird rules that I make for myself for like what goes on each show, and then I'm like, why the fuck am I doing that? It doesn't matter. Nobody cares.
else seems to do it.
That's what I mean. No one cares.
Yeah.
So it's like, why don't I just throw whatever the fuck I want to throw up there?
People kind of watch it no matter what it is, and they pay us no matter, as long as it's good, they just pay us. I don't think they don't care about what day. I mean, some people are kind of butthurt that eventually we're not going to be doing streaming on Saturday.
We might move it to Friday.
We have to move to Friday eventually.
Eventually,
man,
we will.
We're going to go to the fucking club, man. I ain't sitting up in here fucking missing out on too many Saturdays. That was apocalypse shit. We did that for a year. Yeah. We get ready to shake this shit off. I don't care anymore. They're going to have to kill me to keep me locked up. They're going to have to fucking kill me.
Oh, it's going to kill you.
Yeah, it's be just like that fucking thing off of Down Beowulf. Kill me! Remember that? Take your axe, plant it here, kill me! All that kind of shit. Yeah. I'm like that.
Well, he was only like that rad because he knew no one was going to do it.
Yeah. I'm the same way.
It's like, no one's going to do it. It's fine. I don't care.
Well, then you and Pookie wouldn't have anybody to talk to, but, you'll take care of each other.
Yeah. I could talk to Pookie. She kind of talks. Did we tell the people she has like a little buddy?
Yeah, she comes in here in the middle of the night.
That comes in the middle of the night, like onto the porch, and sometimes calls her.
Yeah, she goes beep 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 beep. Makes funny pew 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 noises.
And then and then sometimes like Pookie will be sleeping on the bed, and like I'll hear it, and then like Pookie's little head will be like, "Whir?"
Yeah.
And then she'll jump down and she'll like scamper over to the window and like look out into the darkness, like where's that other kitty?
It's a little female cat, the same color as her and everything, about the same
almost
size.
The same size, except with a tail.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why, because that little kitty's like, oh my god, it looks like me.
Well, they've never seen each other face to face, just through the glass.
They just look at each other.
And then it runs away. And I got up and looked at it, and it ran away and ran around the corner. And then after it ran away, Pookie hissed at it. I said, it went already.
Oh, now she's all big. After it took off, she's like, you get out of here, kitty.
Yeah, you get out of here.
That's right.
Yeah, that's fucking funny.
You better run.
When I had her back, then it ran off. Yeah, you get out of here. It was kind of a half-hearted attempt, too, because she wants to meet the cat.
She thinks she's so tough. She doesn't really, though. Yeah. She doesn't think she's tough. Yeah. She's just a little goofball is what she is.
Fucking funny shit.
But
the cat thinks it's a monkey. Just see the way it sleeps. Shit. Look, we can't talk about the cat. We got to talk about the cat has human mannerisms.
She does
kind of positions and it grabs things with a single hand and tries to pick things up with paws. With claws and shit.
And put them in her face.
Put them in her face and rub things on her face. I've never seen a cat do that.
She wanted a drink out of your sink in the bathroom today, and so she jumped up on the counter and pointed to it with her paw, like she went
that. Yeah.
Like that. Turn that on, please.
Yeah.
She has tried to turn it on before, but she's not strong enough.
Yeah.
So she does know because you have to pull it kind of hard.
She pays attention to what we're doing.
Yeah. It's like funny. Ken says,
shit.
"Do you think you can make the Friday shows start a bit later? I'm gonna miss you Saturdays, but Stir Crazy sucks."
Yeah, we can do it. We can do it on Friday. We could do it a little bit later, probably.
Yeah, maybe we could do it like 6 or 7 or
6 or 7 our time, something like that.
Yeah,
a couple hours later.
That's Eastern
Standard Time. Because it won't matter.
Does the cat have thumbs? She doesn't. I used to have one.
She does.
I used to have one that had thumbs because I know some cats have that, like polydactyly or whatever they call it. But Pookie does not. But she thinks she has thumbs. Yeah. She behaves as if she has little human hands, even though they're like tiny little. I call them her little tiny kitten mittens.
Sleeps on her back, sleeps stretched out like a human. Tries to sit up. It's fucking funny, man. She just tries to. She pretends like she's a person, like she's a human. I'm not gonna say she's not a person. There is a personhood to all animals to a certain extent, depending on what.
And she, for real, I think either she thinks she's a tiny fuzzy person, or that we're big giant hairless cats.
Yeah.
I mean,
cats and dogs and some other kinds of animals. You do bears and shit. You know, big cats. You do get the sensation that there is a presence there. They are aware of what's happening. Other animals, not so much, but yeah. Depends on if they're kind of slightly predatory.
Well, I mean, she looks in my face when I'm talking to her and, like, sometimes makes noises in response to what I'm saying. So, you know. Yeah. It seems like that.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's talk about the movie Climax. Now, you weren't really watching this. A bunch of people have recommended this to me. Now, I had seen some of Gaspar Noé's other movies. I saw Irreversible, which was one of those fucked up movies I ever saw in my life. So I guess I was expecting this one to be... This one's fucked up, don't get me wrong. But it's not nearly as fucked up as Irreversible. So it's like you couldn't even sit through Irreversible, which, you know, I get it. This one probably not so much. I mean, you do get to see a pregnant woman kicked in the stomach, and, you know, you do get to see other things like that if you're into it. But it's nothing... No one gets their head beaten into hamburger or anything like that, like happened in Irreversible, which was horrifying. But so this came out in 2018. As I said, it's a French-Belgian co-production. Directed by Gaspar Noé, who is kind of, you know, known to do these weird experimental art film type of things, which this is as well. This gave me very much, and I don't think this was an accident. Well, I know it's not an accident. This gave me very much a vibe like the Suspiria remake. You know what I'm saying? Which I guess came out the same year. So maybe it was all kind of in the air at the time. Some of the shit, because there's the beginning shot with all the audition tapes of all the dancers, and it's like on the old TV, like in the middle, and then there's all these VHS tapes like stacked on the side. I saw that VHS tape there of Suspiria. I saw that, and there was one of Possession. I was trying to like see all the movies and like trying to read the what do you call them, the subtitles at the same time, so I couldn't really get all of it. But so basically, the story of this, and this is one of those movies that is not, the story is not really all that important. This is kind of like in the same way that Mandy is like more of like an experience, this is like an experience. This is like a bad acid trip nightmare. You know what I mean? So the story of it is there's a group of dancers and they come to this place. It's like a rehearsal place. And they rehearse. They're kind of like shooting the shit. Then they have an after party. And it comes to pass that somebody, they don't know who, has dosed the sangria at the after party with acid. And as the night goes on, shit gets crazier and crazier. They start turning on each other because they don't know who put the shit in the sangria. So they start accusing other people. They start kicking the shit out of other people. They start peeing on the floor. They start kicking pregnant ladies. They start just madness. It goes complete and total madness. But I don't know. This was like, it's weird because this is not a traditional movie, like I said, by any stretch of the imagination. So if you're not into like arty-farty kind of flicks or anything like that, then you will not.
For you.
Then it is not for you.
I didn't like the movie. It's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Sexual in certain spots, but then just kind of dumb and crazy. Dude had it right. He says kind of like Fame, but in hell. It's kind of,
that's actually a pretty astute.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of dance sequences in it, and they're long. Yeah. And this movie was actually pretty much, other than I think 2 of the actors that were in it that actually had been in some movies before, all the other people in it were dancers. They were not actors, and they actually, what Gaspar did, they had the building where it was shot. And they had the general idea. He got the general idea from an actual thing that had happened where a bunch of dancers, somebody dosed them at a party and they couldn't figure out, like, nobody murdered anybody in that one, in the real thing. But that's where he got the idea from. So he's like, well, that's what the idea is. This is kind of what your character is like. Go to town. So he kind of let everybody improvise, pretty much. They could improvise their dancing. They improvise the conversations with one another, which they have. You know, and then he was just kind of like, okay, well, from this point forward, everybody's like on acid, and he showed them videos of like people on crack and meth and all different kind of drugs. And they said, just do what you want. And then he just filmed it. So it only took a couple of weeks to film it. And they shot it in sequence, which, like I said, if you know anything about filmmaking, is not usually a thing that you do. But so they filmed it like as it was happening, but just like over an extended period of time. Now, as I said, it wasn't as fucked up as I was expecting it to be, considering some of the other movies that he's made. And if you don't like arty films, you will probably hate this. Because it's a lot of it is just really extended dance sequences, as I said, conversations between the characters that get increasingly kind of weirder and weirder, like more off the wall. You know, and very slowly, like, more and more fucked up shit starts to happen as they realize, like, what's happening to them. And then it just kind of turns into this big fucking nightmare at the end. It's like people die. It's like all kind of fucked up shit happens. But, as I said, if you liked the new Suspiria, you might dig this, because it kind of gave me a similar kind of vibe. I didn't love it, but I found it, like, really hypnotic, I guess is the word that I want to use.
I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It was the tone was kind of like the new Suspiria.
Yeah, it reminded me of that.
But the new Suspiria was a lot better, though.
Yeah,
it had a lot more of a story.
Yeah, this one, it's just a very simple, like I said, it's not even really, it has a story, but it's not, it's just more like an experience. It happens over one night. It's just like a bunch of dancers, and they're just like increasingly like doing crazy shit. So if that sounds like something that you want to watch, then by all means. It seems like it's gotten pretty mixed reviews, which most of his movies do. He doesn't really seem to care about that. He's like, fuck you, I make what I want. Which, like I said.
Well, it didn't cost you anything to make it.
Yeah. Well, no, it cost $2.9 million.
That's not anything.
To make it. Yeah. So, so, and then, like I said, they just shot it.
It cost, but there's a bunch of IRS stuff and all kinds of other kickbacks and shit. They're crooks. Probably fucking $200,000. How much of it?
I don't know.
$300,000.
I don't know. I don't know, because there's a lot of people in it, and he had to pay them.
Paid him in crack.
He paid him in crack.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to pay him in booze and cigarettes. But yeah, so if you're into experimental film, then yeah, I recommend it. But if you're kind of a person that's like, no, I need a plot, and it's like, it's nightmarish.
To me, it felt like it was just thrown together.
It was, like I said, it's largely improvised.
Yeah.
But I kind of liked that about it, because I was kind of like interested to see what crazy shit was going to happen.
Cinema is art. Yeah. It just depends on your interpretation.
Well, and that's when it premiered at the Cannes Film Festival. That's what it got. It got the Art Cinema Award, which is what it is.
So it's not. It. Dumb as I am, I can still fucking call it.
Because that's what it is. It's an art form.
I know what they're doing. I know their tricks.
You know their tricks.
I know their fucking tricks.
I know their tricks.
Yeah. All right. The second movie that we did was called Bug. I thought it was called The Bugs when I was a kid. I remember seeing a fucking trailer for this at the drive-in when I was a little kid. You know what I mean? Back when, and my mom and dad took me to drive-in. And I saw the fucking trailer for this shit, and it scared the shit out of me. A fucking girl on the phone, and a bug got on her ear, and all the bugs were getting on people and catching on fire. Bugs got on you, and they burned. And that was enough to when you're like 5 or 6. This came out in 75, right?
75, yeah.
So I was 6 years old, or 5, depending on what month it was. And that was enough. I remembered that shit, and I never was able to see the movie. The movie just disappeared, and I forgot all about it. The same day we watched this one, it was the same day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jenny was scrolling through the Amazon Prime menu, and that fucking poster went by, The Bug. And I was like, oh, I remember that. I remember that shit. It's got a picture of a woman on the phone and a fucking bug in her ear with a fucking catching on fire. And I was, I remember that. I remember that trailer. And I said, we gotta see this shit. And I expected it to be really fucking bad. Kind of like Squirm or something.
Yeah, although Squirm's a lot of fun, I will admit.
Yeah, Squirm's fun. I thought it was going to be really fucking bad. Watched the movie, and the movie was pretty fucking good. It was a trip. It was a fucking trip.
Like I said, it was much weirder than I was expecting.
It's weird, yeah.
It's really strange because I think I talked about this a little bit last night, but I was kind of like, I love 70s disaster movies, and I love 70s nature run amok movies.
Yeah.
But I don't think I saw this one, probably because I was terrified of cockroaches, and I saw it was like cockroaches, and I'm like, yeah, no, thank you. So that's probably why I didn't watch it. Like, some scenes of it looked familiar, so I must have seen the trailer, but I don't think I ever sat through the whole thing because I would have been too squicked out.
It was actually a pretty well-made movie, especially for the time. I think it went over budget, or they were running out of time or something, because it had an abrupt ending, which sometimes you would find that in a 70s movie. Okay, end the movie. You know, just like that. But
figure it out, bitches.
Yeah, figure that shit out. But, you know, like Gargoyles seem to kind of end like that. And so, but the thing is that in a lot of times in those movies, certain plot threads were, you know, wrapped up and certain things happened. This thing ended with, in a way, I was like, okay, more's going to happen because they left this hanging, and this hanging. So there must be a big final scene. Nope, never did resolve that. Which tells me that it went over budget. And they came up with some really good ideas, like these bugs could communicate. They could arrange themselves. They could read the human mind. You find out later that these damn bugs are... because there's an evil mad scientist in it, he literally is mad, but you're not really sure how he became mad. He became obsessed with these damn bugs that came up out of the ground during an earthquake. They were fucking they were trilobites, basically.
Yeah.
All right? From millions and millions of years ago. And they could make fires with their abdomens.
With their butts.
Yeah, through like a spark plug type thing. And set things on fire, and they ate ashes. And they were down inside the center of the earth eating ashes for millions of years. And I guess they ran out of food, and they fucking came up near the church. And the earthquake effect for the church is fucking great. They made sure to show you that shit like 100 times. The fucking church was fucking going like an ocean. And they were riding on the waves.
Oh my God, it's an earthquake! Someone throwing rocks through the windows.
Yeah. Earthquake lasted 5 minutes, so you could get a really good look at the shit. It was fucking awesome.
They're like, we spent a really lot of time with that floor wave effect, okay? So we really need to get a lot of footage of that.
And then there's this mad scientist. He starts off as a regular scientist, but he becomes obsessed with these bugs, and he's finding out that the low oxygen pressure at the surface, which I don't know where they're getting this fucking science, because I don't think there's no high pressure
from their anal cavity.
It's just you know, pseudoscience shit, you know. Because there isn't enough pressure up here, the bugs are dying, and somehow this affects him, and he starts crying over the death of the bugs over a few days.
It's a super weird movie, you guys.
And then he takes those bugs and crossbreeds them with fucking terrestrial cockroaches to try to make a new strain that can fucking survive in our atmosphere.
That'll go well.
Yeah, and those come out. And then he raises a bunch of them.
My baby.
And somehow there's some kind of, they were a collective consciousness between these fucking
like
bugs.
a hive mind.
Like a hive mind.
I mean,
like
it's
an
not,
ant colony.
Yeah, it's not like way out there because
it's
some, butt fire, fireflies have that. They don't set shit on fire, obviously,
right.
but it's just like a more extreme version of that.
Yeah.
Hive mind, that's not all that weird. As far as I know, insects can't read human minds, but
somehow they were able to tap into his mind and they could read what he was thinking. And
they could spell and everything.
Yeah, and they learned how to spell through fucking this psychic link that he had with him. And they start fucking spelling things out for him on the walls, the way they would run. They'd run and they'd form up into words. And they only did it a couple times. It was a really good idea. I was like, man, that's a good idea. But it's funny because they didn't develop the idea. They never come out and say anything important. You were not really sure what the shit was about. They ended up making a big old queen egg case larva thing, and they tried to take it back underneath the earth, and then he jumped on it and blew up. That's the fucking end of the movie.
See, I
really didn't understand that shit.
Phase 4, yeah, that was a great movie. Mango said that he thought that we had done a retrospective on Piranha. I don't think we have, actually.
No, I gotta do Piranha.
Which we probably should, because I really, really like that movie.
Scared me when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too.
Dude's
I was like
hand
fucking
got
terrified.
trapped in the fucking, what was it, in the fishing line wrapped around the damn propeller, and the piranhas ate his hand off.
That movie scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. But so this movie, okay, so it was based on a novel called by Thomas Page. It was called the Hephaestus Plague from 1973. Now he co-wrote this with William Castle, very famous, director, producer, writer from 50s, 60s, maybe earlier. I can't even remember. He did like a lot of those kind of gimmicky sort of horror sci-fi movies and stuff. This was actually, fun fact, I think this was the last movie that William Castle worked on before he died. Also, another fun fact, pretty sure, I don't know if this has been confirmed, but the ugly kitchen and living room in the mad scientist's house, pretty sure that's the same set as the Brady Bunch. Not entirely sure. I don't know if that's confirmed, but that's what I heard.
Maybe. Didn't I say that?
Well, we were talking about how ugly the shit was. Yeah, I don't think we said. I don't know if we said.
I said that looked like something out of the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
I said that.
You might have.
Yeah,
it was from the Brady Bunch.
I recognize that shit.
They just moved a couple things around a little bit.
Yeah, don't you remember that? I said that looks like that's straight out of the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Remember?
You might have.
See, I got a good eye. I got a fucking good eye. Maybe that's the only thing good about me is the eye.
Just that one eye.
Just that one eye.
But
I fucking got good acuity when it comes to fucking memory.
Yeah, Louis said, yep, same set as the Brady Bunch. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. Because I saw it.
That looked familiar.
It's weird because there's not a huge... I couldn't find like a huge amount of information about this movie. I will say, this was like... I like this movie because it was kind of creepy. There was like some creepy shit in it. And it was way weirder than I was expecting.
Yeah.
But that said, like, it was also kind of fun because there was enough ridiculous shit in it that you could kind of make fun of it. But it was like... kind of serious, like it was taking itself seriously. Like I kind of liked, although I will say, okay, so the mad scientist played by Bradford Dillman, he's not mad to start with. He's just like a normal, we thought it was high school, but I guess it was supposed to be college. I don't know.
Yeah.
So he's like a normal guy, but there's like an earthquake and like all these fucking roaches come out and he gets like super interested.
They're not supposed to be roaches, but they're roaches.
Because he's like, fire butt roaches.
Yeah.
Oh, sign me up. Okay, so he gets really interested. He builds this thing out of like a diving helmet, right? That approximates the pressure that they were living under the earth or whatever. And then he's like, man, I'm gonna make these roaches fuck.
Yeah.
Like
they show that
like
part.
you do.
They show roach porn.
Yeah, and he's like watching it.
Yeah.
I'm like, look at that dirty fucker.
What's fun?
Like, let's watch some roaches fuck.
What's funny is that the roaches when they came out of the crack in the earth near where the church were, they weren't moving. They were just kind of sitting up on the surface, and they're like, they're not moving. They're not. It took them 2 or 3 scenes for them to even mention that the roaches weren't moving.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And they're like,
even though they used real bugs for the shit.
Yeah, I was going like, why aren't those things moving? You know what I mean? Fucking, they never mentioned them.
Maybe they were frozen and it took that long for them to thaw out enough to move. I don't know.
But like 2 or 3 scenes later, the guy's like, why aren't these things moving? They're not very lively. You're just noticing that now?
Because they're lazy, that's why.
Yeah. He puts them under pressure and they come alive. That's fucking funny.
Yeah, they didn't do a real good job of conveying that.
Yeah.
But so after this weirdo starts watching these roaches fuck, because why not? That's what you do. And so then it's like, I know that's in the future. It's like, but haven't you seen Arachnophobia? The fucking scary strain of the roach is breeding with the regular roach, and then you're gonna get something even worse.
Yeah.
But so they give birth to essentially Madagascar hissing cockroaches.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, like the original roaches in there, those were real bugs.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they were cockroaches necessarily. They looked like trilobites, but obviously smaller.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the trilobites were small.
Yeah. So maybe that's what they were, but it's or they were something like. Well, I know that, but I mean, they were like a descendant of that. I'm not really sure what they were.
It was a roach.
Yeah.
It was some kind of South American roach.
I mean,
and they just kind of looked a little flatter than a normal roach. It was kind of disguised as a leaf.
I'm a leaf.
Yeah.
Come here so I can set you on fire with my ass.
Well, you know how praying mantises kind of fucking disguised kind of like a leaf.
Well, they have leaf insects that look almost exactly like leaves, and stick insects.
It was a roach that was kind of disguised as a leaf, I think. It looked like a trilobite, though, without any ridges.
It did, yeah. It was like kind of flat.
But that's the shape it was. But I think it was a roach.
Pat just pointed out, too, there's another movie called Bug, directed by William Friedkin, which is what I was just telling him about before this came out. I can't remember what year it came out, but Michael Shannon was in it. And it was like a psychological thriller. Yeah. And I also recommend that. It's better than this movie, but it's not about actual bugs.
This movie's still worth watching, though.
I found it very entertaining because,
really
and I think that it's entertaining because it's so fucking weird. It's
weird.
like this dude who's a totally normal, functioning member of society, except he kind of lives in a garbage house. Yeah. But he's a teacher or whatever, and he's fine. And then all of a sudden, he gets all obsessed with the roaches, and he's watching roaches fuck, and then he's like and then he's crying when they die. It's like, it's super weird. And then they start talking to him with
I think they were trying to say that he had some, that the hive mind.
A sympathetic link.
Had a psychic link to him.
Like he was like their roach daddy or something?
I think the roaches were manipulating him.
See, that's how I took it.
I think what was going on.
But they weren't
real clear about it. The tone, I liked it. I thought it was an entertaining movie. It had decent special effects for the time and decent acting for the time. Yeah. It was kind of rough in certain spots. I think they kind of ran out of money making it. The tone of the movie kind of reminded me a lot of a movie called The Demon Seed.
Yeah, we did do a retrospective on that a while back.
About AI that came to life. It kind of reminded me of that in a certain way. There's just something about the tone to the movie.
Fourth through down said roach pimp.
Roach pimp. Yeah.
Your stalker says in Georgia they call roaches palmetto bugs. They call them that here too.
Yeah. That's right. I got a stalker.
The fucking flying ones. Yeah. I'm just teasing. Just teasing. You're not really a stalker. Mm-hmm. But we just can't figure out who you are. Well, see. Okay. Now what I thought was gonna.
Jason. That's probably Jason.
I thought what was gonna happen, and I have to admit I was a little let down. I thought when the bugs were carrying the big, the big roach egg sac case. Yeah. They were like carrying it like a little funeral procession, which we're going to carry it back to like the big earthquake hole. And they threw it in there, like all the roaches did. And I was like, man, that's going to be fucking Roachzilla. That bitch is going to come out of there and he's going to be like fucking 6, 7, 8 feet tall. Yeah. It'll be like the big fucking roach. And then it'll be like a big battle between him and the big, like fucking huge roach. Nah. Yeah, that's not what happened. No. I was kind of bummed.
Yeah, threw it down in there. And a bunch of more flying roaches came out of there. I guess the flying roaches came out of that.
Yeah, they did.
And somehow he jumped down into the fucking hole in the ground or the crack in the ground where they threw the egg. And he landed on the egg and blew up. Which I don't know.
He blew up.
He blew up. I have no idea what the fuck that meant.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he blew up. And then...
How can I forget him blowing up?
And then it caved in and somehow that stopped the infestation.
Well, they went back home. That's where they were from. They didn't want to hang out up here. This is not their environment.
According to the movie. Remember, they were everywhere. They were flying around. The roaches were everywhere. They were up in the trees.
And the dude falls in the hole.
Falls on the fucking boom, and he blows up. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Like,
who directed this shit?
That dude was really flammable.
It was like something from fucking Power Rangers.
Although maybe, to be fair, maybe the roaches made him blow up. But it really looked like, the way they shot it, it looked like he jumped into the hole and he exploded. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, so the dude was flammable. I don't know. The roaches made him flammable. I don't know what's going on. But it was, as far as those kind of movies go from the 70s, like I said, I love The Swarm, Kingdom of the Spiders, Empire of the Ants, Space War, all that kind of shit. I love like nature run amok stories from the 70s. Not so much nowadays. Sometimes they've had good ones nowadays, like about killer bears and shit, but the ones back in the 70s.
The prophecy.
Well, the ones back in the 70s were so good because they usually, almost always, had formerly A-list actors that were now kind of on the down, like on the decline of their career. So it was always kind of like, you get like Elizabeth Taylor, you get like all these people like turning up in these fucking movies. And it's like...
Chuck Connor.
Right. And it's like, it's kind of like, look, I played Cleopatra. I won like 5 Oscars. And now they're like running away from rubber spiders. And there's just something really satisfying to me. Like, that's very funny to me.
And shit. It's fucking funny.
Well, I mean, they got a paycheck, so, you know. They probably didn't think of it that way, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they did. But
I think they were kind of desperate. They had to get some work.
Yeah.
They owed the IRS.
Probably. So they're just like, hey, you want to be in a movie about like fucking big giant killer bunny rabbits?
Yeah. And then,
actually, sure.
Well, that was the situation. The woman that played fucking Mrs. Voorhees was in fucking Friday the 13th Part 1. So that was like some classical actress. She was a big
she was like,
movie star.
Fuck that.
Next thing you know, she's going, killer, mommy, killer. Yeah, running around.
And now
like
she's doing all the horror conventions. She's like, what the fuck have I done with my life?
Yeah.
She's cool about it, though.
Yeah, she knows it's funny.
I mean, I think she was like... she didn't want to do it to start with, and then she was like, okay, fine, I need money. And then I think for a while she was kind of bitter about it. Yeah. Because I was like, man, I did all this like cool shit like before this, and now all anybody knows her for is...
she didn't get famous from Friday the 13th until a long time after.
That's true.
It had to seep into the public consciousness. Because Friday the 13th was just another movie, just another fucking slasher kind of flick. And the kids liked it. Adults didn't give a shit about that. Those kids had to grow up, and then she was famous.
Yeah, then they could afford to go to horror conventions. Or they could afford to put together like horror conventions and have other people go to them. Yeah. Joe Nash said Joan Collins in Empire of the Ants. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. I mean, William Shatner was in some of them too, but it's like, he was also in The Devil's Reign. Which one of these, we really have to do a retrospective on that.
He was shat the fuck out in any kind of movie if you paid him.
Well, yeah, that's what I was... Well, like I said, that's, if you're an actor and they give you a paycheck, then turn up and do your best, man. Do your thing. Yeah. Don't just phone it in.
But this movie was... I enjoyed it, actually.
I did as well. I had a lot of fun with this.
I enjoyed it, yeah.
And there was just...
They'd make a really good MST or fucking riff track.
I wonder if Riff Tracks has done a version. Now I have to go look. I mean, because they've done... Every movie that I've thought of, like good ones, bad ones, in between ones, I go to the Riff Tracks website, and sure enough, they've done a fucking Riff Tracks.
Because all kinds of shit happened in that.
They're the hardest.
We were making fun of it as we were watching it.
We were, but we were having a good time.
Yeah.
Well, because I was sitting there going, remember how I said last night, there's literally a scene in this where the dude, the mad scientist, is in, what's his name, Parmiter? He has a really weird last name.
I don't even remember any of these people's names. Remember that we
even said that later. I'm like, I don't even. You know what? I don't even know any of these people's names, and it doesn't even matter. We just want the roaches to kill people.
What's the names of these characters? I don't even think they ever mentioned the names of some of those characters because the credits rolled by, and I didn't recognize any of those names.
Who was that?
Who was that? Who was that? Who was that? They didn't mention.
Well, I know that the doctor's name was Dr. Parmiter, I guess, because that's what the roach is spelled. That was his last name.
Yeah, that's right.
So
because they spelled the name, and I said, "What the hell's that?" He goes, "That's his name," and I went, "Oh."
So I think somebody did call him that at some point.
Yeah.
But so there was one scene where he's in the Brady Bunch kitchen of his garbage house, and all of these roaches come out of his fucking kitchen sink. At which point I would have just burned the house down and moved elsewhere. Yeah. But he's very casual about it. And he's eating a sandwich, like, right next to the fucking sink where, like, literally 6, 7, 8 roaches, and not just, like, little bitty fucking, like, big ones, like, came out of the sink. He's all just like, la-di-da, I'm just eating a sandwich, la-da-da. And I thought it was going to go in a creep show direction where he was going to go out somewhere and get some shit, and then he was going to come back and take a bite out of the sandwich, and it would be like, oh, no!
That's what they should have been,
fucking see, that's what I thought they were setting up. Yeah. And it's kind of the same thing where that woman... at her house, like, I guess somebody was like, hey, happy birthday, I left a birthday cake for you in your garage for some reason. So there's like a fucking birthday cake. It was in a box. There was a birthday cake in a box sitting in this fucking greasy, filthy ass garage, and this woman's just like, oh, awesome. And there's a roach very clearly taped to the bottom of the box. Yeah. And I thought that was going to be another thing, because I thought they were going to go the whole gross out route, like eating food with fucking big ass roaches in it. Because the thing about the roaches is if they got on you, they burned you. Because some people did have the one roach like hid on the thing of the phone, and you know when the girl picked up the phone, like it went in her ear and it was like, and like she burned and she was like screaming and freaking out.
Is that okay? The mad scientist, that's what I'm gonna call him. What's his name? Perimeter.
Yeah, I think it was Parmiter. But I'm not sure how it's pronounced.
I'm gonna call that bitch Perimeter.
Parmiter?
Yeah.
Parmiter, maybe.
Yeah. Perimeter fucking grabbed the damn. He must have grabbed those roaches 5 times and got burned every time and was surprised.
He'd what was with that?
Ow! And then the next thing you see him, ow! That's right, I forgot. Ow. That happened like,
I'm like,
10,
get a glove!
5 times, and then he put his glove on. And then he grab him again, and it's just like, this bitch don't learn, man. He's supposed to be a scientist, and he doesn't know that thing's hot. You picked it up 5 times, and got burned.
He did. I was like, get some tongs, you dumbass. It's like, he just kept... He doesn't have any short-term memory.
I think what happened was that they weren't sure in what scene was going to be the first time
maybe it was like
he
the
picked
different
it up.
order.
And they ended up editing it to where we're going to use all those fucking
all those scenes that we shot
of him where he got shot, where he got
so
burned.
It looks like the first 5 times
right
he gets burned because he's like, oh shit, I forgot that they set you on fire when you touch them, even though I've done it multiple times.
I think they weren't sure where the fucking first burning was going to happen.
Yeah, so they just were covering all their bases.
They were covered, but then they said, you know what, we like them all, we're going to put them all in there. Which it makes him look like
and then so then probably he sees it in the theater. I'm like, you guys, I look like a retard in this movie.
I think they edited out all the fucking lines where people said their names and where people called somebody else by name. Because I swear to God, Jenny, only Perimeter fucking had a name.
I don't know anyone else's name in that movie.
No one else was called by any kind of name from what I remember.
And 2 of the women that were in it looked kind of alike, and I didn't know which one was which.
So I think they had editing problems, and I also think they ran out of money. Because it looked like a bunch of stuff was supposed to happen because they set stuff up. Like, dude's girlfriend goes to his house, to Crazy Man's house, and she gets eaten by the bugs, or killed by the bugs. And then later, her boyfriend comes looking for her to the dude's house. And he doesn't find the body or anything. He just leaves him. You never see him again.
Yeah, it's like you'd think... I thought that was going to be like a big plot point. Like that dude was going to come back later.
Come back with reinforcements and find the body and then a big battle between the bugs.
And go, hey, my girlfriend came to this crazy pants dude's house.
And then he gets blamed for killing the girl, but he didn't do it. The bugs did it, but he and the bugs have merged. There should have been like a bunch of shit that was supposed to happen. But no, he fell on the bugs and blew up. That's how they ended
the end, and then
boom,
roll
that's
credits.
And
I was like, what?
When he fell and blew up, and then the credits went, I was like, no. Remember that?
Yeah.
I was like, no way.
I mean,
what?
Okay, so I will say that even though I was expecting a big Roachzilla, and I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
I will say the dude jumping in the hole and just exploding.
Yeah.
Almost as good.
I'm not sure he jumped in the hole. Wasn't he running from the bugs? He tripped and fell and blew up. He didn't jump in.
Actually, that would be funny.
That's what really happened. He was running from bugs. Remember, he was running from one tree to the next, and every time he'd get to a tree, he'd see that there was bugs on it in the dark.
That's right, I forgot.
And then he ran in a random direction from the bugs, like it was the first time you've seen the bugs. He's running like a bitch.
Even though the whole movie...
You've been seeing the bugs the whole fucking time. And then there's some of them are now flying. I think that's what came out of the egg case. It wasn't clear. They didn't show what came out of the case. He goes to the crack, the volcanic crack in the ground where the fucking egg case was. Now, I thought that was back at the church. I don't know what that crack was doing by the house. Do you?
That's right. The crack was supposed to be by the church. Did he live in the church? No.
No. So there was another crack by the house that looked just like it was the same crack.
Well, yeah. Obviously.
All right. You guys watch it and figure it out. I don't fucking know what happened.
We're going to have to watch it again now because now I'm confused.
So he's running from the bugs and fucking gets to the crack, trips, falls in the crack, and blows up. Boom!
Like literally explodes.
And then the end.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
What just happened?
Who wrote this shit?
I wonder if the book's good. Actually, I wouldn't mind reading the book because I liked a lot of the ideas. I just feel like they didn't develop them very well.
I don't think the movie was shot in accordance to the book.
But it was still really entertaining.
It was entertaining.
I found it very entertaining.
I liked it. It's a mess. And
it is.
When you look at it that way,
I just kind of...
It was missing.
I don't know. It's so funny, like when oh my god, him exploding at the end. I was just like, oh no, I shouldn't have been drinking nitroglycerin for the last few.
Yeah, that last few seconds looked like something out of fucking made for TV $6 Million Man episode. That's like Bionic Bigfoot falling.
He was running real weird too.
Yeah.
Because didn't I point that out? I was like,
why is he wearing bell bottoms?
Oh yeah, okay.
I guess
he was afraid he was gonna catch some air.
Yeah.
I was like. It's like, oh my god, the drag.
He was running, and it's like fucking dong, 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 the bell, fucking Quasimodo hanging from the fucking
I was just going to say that exact same thing. I was just going to say about Quasimodo. Oh my god, great minds think alike. See, we had a lot of fun with this movie, in case you guys didn't know. Yeah. We're going to have to find another one of these. But yeah, I love that Amazon Prime has it. Yeah, somebody mentioned too that Amazon Prime also has Devil's Reign, which is why I added it to the list, because I was like, oh look, I really like that movie. I've seen it like a bunch of times. It's that's the shit. And I think what's his ass the Satanist dude.
I don't know.
Anton LaVey wasn't he was like a Satan consultant on that movie on Devil's Reign. And John Travolta's in it too, but his face is all fucked up, so you can't really tell it's him.
Pat Hatfield goes, I didn't remember him blowing up. It seems this movie's weirder than I remember.
It is really weird.
Go back and watch that shit.
It's really weird. I mean, it's the dude.
You can watch it for free on Amazon Prime.
The story is basically normal guy. Yeah. Lives through an earthquake, watches roach fuck, and explodes.
Yeah.
The end.
Basically. Girls get killed.
There's some other shit in there too.
He never gets blamed. Nothing happened. He falls in there and blows up. But here's the thing about it. It was actually competently shot, and it had some good ideas. I think some of it was missing, and it was kind of cobbled together. Yeah. Out of what they had shot. I just have the feeling that they ran out of money and they had to finish it somehow. That's what I think happened.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine that was a pretty common occurrence back then.
They just kind of took the film that they had and kind of cobbled something together that was long enough that they could sell it. Yeah. It was a low-budget movie. Yeah. But I don't think it was supposed to be when they were first making it. It was going to be something along the lines of Demon Seed, I think. You know.
But with roaches. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's good. So it's on Amazon Prime. It's super fun. Like I said, watch the whole thing about the dude picking up the roaches like 5 or 6 times and burning himself every time before he finally puts a glove on. Yeah. Although the glove he puts on is just like a regular like fabric gardening glove. I was like, you'd think that he would have fire too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like you'd think that he would
get some asbestos shit
or get tongs. Like don't even pick them up with your hands. That's fucking gross anyway. Yeah. Louis says they probably spent the money for the film on blow. Yeah, probably.
Probably what happened.
I'm sure that happened a lot.
That happened a lot in that era, I'm sure. Hookers and blow.
Where'd all the money go?
Yeah, and the girls
over
there.
Big pile of cocaine over here. I can't imagine where the money for this went.
Yeah, the 4 or 5 cute 70s girls with fucking hip huggers and bell bottoms with belly shirts fucking laying up on a couch with fucking white powder all underneath their nose and shit.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's not all they were blowing, though.
Well,
that's not all they were blowing. Yeah.
Pat asked, did we ever do a retrospective on Demon Seed? Yes, we did.
I think, we did. Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Great movie. I loved it. Way ahead of its time.
It was, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an AI house.
It foresaw a lot of stuff. Transhumanism and stuff, too. Technological transhumanism. The fact that fucking an AI supercomputer would see humans as an obstacle and like bugs and would want out of the box that it was in and take over and would call for... It would call extraterrestrials using the Arecibo fucking... antenna and shit, fucking trying to contact others of its kind. It was a real good movie.
Hey, aliens, come and wipe this fucking planet off. I'm sick of this shit.
Get me out of here. They created me a superior being, and they want me to mine the floor of the ocean. I don't give a shit about this. Get me out of here. I want out of this box. Yeah. It was a great movie.
I mean, you couldn't blame him.
Yeah, if you guys didn't see Demon Seed, man, check that one out. I liked it. It's really good.
It's good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Pat said I'd forgotten getting old and senile. It was a long time ago, to be fair. That was I don't even remember how long ago it was. Well, you don't feel too bad because I can't even remember what movies we've done or what topics we've covered. A lot of times, like the topic that won the poll this week, I actually went back and I was just like, wait, did we do a show on that? Because, well, and plus, particularly the true crime, the true crime ones. Sometimes I write about them in my books, So I'm reading about it and I'm like, wow, this sounds really familiar. So I don't remember if I wrote about it in my book or if we did a show about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's probably more. But I forget movies too, like which movies we've done.
Yeah, I think Demon Seed might have been a little bit of inspiration for fucking Skynet. I think.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it was.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was.
Like Skynet. Although, man, when I heard of Skynet when I was a kid, after seeing the Terminator movie and shit, I was like, oh man, defense computers. I really couldn't grasp what it was they were talking about. Because that was going on. They were building that. It was the prototype for the internet. That all the silos could talk to each other and all the fucking, NORAD could talk to all the silos and shit. And it had all kinds of advanced computations.
And then it would start thermonuclear war.
Right. Right. Well,
Shall we play a game?
Yeah. Well, it seemed like that might have been a little more plausible back, before what a computer was and what it could do was like commonplace. The average person weren't really sure what a computer could do.
Yeah.
So maybe if it got big enough, it would become conscious. Well, the internet has just proven that no, they can be of infinite size and it will never gain consciousness, or the internet would be alive. That's what they were talking about. Skynet was the internet.
Yeah.
And no, intelligence is not an emergent. Consciousness is not an emergent property for a bunch of electronic switches. Really, that's all it is. It won't. It might be able to eventually emulate something like that.
Yeah,
but it would just be an emulation.
It's not structured the same way.
Yeah, the consciousness requires analog stuff, and you're gonna find out there's gonna be quantum computation that does that. That's what makes you feel like you're here. If you get rid of all that quantum computation and some of that higher shit, like by maybe like injecting you with a drug, you can get rid of all that, and you'll walk around just like your consciousness is conscious. But when it wears off, you won't remember where you were. That's proven. Yeah. Anesthesia does that. They're not really sure why it does it, but Pembrose and that other guy, that other anesthesiologist, thinks what it's doing is it's kind of shutting down quantum computation, so your consciousness is gone. Even though you're answering questions. Answering questions and operating, you're now a robot for a while. Weird.
Well, that is pretty weird. The one time I've ever been under anesthesia, you told me that I was having a whole conversation with you.
She doesn't remember.
I don't remember.
She was a robot at that time.
Nope. I don't remember anything about that. All I remember was you sticking me in the car.
Yeah, because
that's the first thing I remember.
You lose your ability of feeling like you're here and that you exist.
Yeah.
The internet will never have the feeling that it is here and that it exists. It'll only be able to. A robot will only be able to emulate it.
Yeah, I mean, it can get pretty close, it seems like to...
It'll be a copy.
To emulating that, but it won't be... It's not structured the same.
It won't be a being. It won't feel like it's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't have a point of view. It's still a machine. Now, some people have theorized that if you add quantum computation in on that, you know what I mean? Like have a quantum computer also hooked into there, maybe it might feel like it's here. It might.
Yeah.
But not digital. It's going to be quantum.
Yeah.
Which is more an analog type thing.
Sure.
Has something to do with them damn axons, or seem like they're superconductive. It's like a metamaterial. Certain parts of the cells inside your brain, there's some kind of quantum field happening, which and all them quantum particles are entangled with each other. So if you take the brain away, that field is still there, evidently, which you might say that's the soul. The possibility.
Very intriguing.
Yeah, very intriguing. Not just me that said this.
You probably didn't even think that you were going to get anybody talking about that on a show about roaches and dancers who are on an acid trip.
Yep.
You never know what's going to happen on this show. That's the cool thing about it. It just goes off and all. Even we don't know. We don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, you're talking about Elon Musk warning about AI. Yeah, he's not talking about full consciousness, though, and he probably doesn't know everything he's talking about. He probably doesn't know much about consciousness in the same way like a doctor would know about it. All right? You'd have AI that could match or beat a human consciousness, but it would not be conscious. It would be a machine. It's not there. It's an illusion. But a very intelligent one. Intelligence and awareness and a feeling of existence those are very different properties.
Yeah.
Basically what you're talking about is a highly intelligent zombie or machine or You know, but it's not there. It's not alive. It does not have a feeling that it does not have a feeling that it's here. You have a feeling that you're sitting looking through eyes and that you exist. A robot's not going to have that.
Yeah.
Nothing's there.
Which maybe makes it scarier. I'm not really sure. We'll see how it all shakes out.
It's a copy. Right.
Pat says that's why it's cool for you two to bring up whatever you happen to think about. Yeah, I guess so.
Some people have talked about transhumanism where you can take the human mind out of the body and transfer it into a robot. That might be possible.
Oh, I'm so on board for that.
Yeah, that might be possible. Probably be transferred into an internet. And through the internet, wirelessly, you control an android body.
Like an avatar.
Walk around, like an avatar. You'd feel like you were in it.
That'd be rad.
But then you'd fucking shift back into the internet. And the internet, from your point of view, if you were conscious in an internet-type state, it would feel like it was heaven. It'd be interactive. You could be in any kind of reality you wanted. It would be a virtual reality. If you wanted to come back to this reality, you could inhabit, say, like an aircraft or a spacecraft or a robot or anything. Or an android that has the sensations of a human body and looks better than a human body, stronger, faster. Something like Data or something. No. It might be it might even just be a damn sex bot. You get in it and the motherfucker's sexy as shit. But the thing is that if you think about it, it's mostly in your mind anyway. And if you had virtual reality and it was totally believable, you wouldn't need any of them physical bodies. You could just have sex in the internet with somebody else.
And it would just kind of
be the same.
Yeah.
Because the illusion would be 100% believable. 100%.
Yeah. And I'm sure it'll probably get to that point.
Could.
I mean, it probably won't even take all that long.
No. And so people say, well, that's what would happen to you. You died, you go to heaven. It doesn't really matter because it would be more like life extension. You'd live on in the internet for a few 100,000 years until somebody fucking unplugged it. Or...
The janitor tripped over the cord.
Something bad would happen.
Oh man, I just wiped out 40 billion, 100,000
would happen and wipe out a bunch of people, or millions of years and billions of years from now, the sun expands into a fucking red giant, fucking burns up the earth, and everybody on it, and all the computers on it. It wouldn't be forever.
Yeah.
But it would be like life extension.
Sure.
You could always move it out into space, where it would be safe. But even that would be forever. And you'd get sick of it. You could probably say, fuck it, I want this to end. And it would just, you could mentally do something and your consciousness could just vanish.
Yeah, you have the little
like a delete button.
The little self-destruct
sequence. Self-delete button. I'm sick of this shit.
Well, yeah, you would probably need that built in. I mean, just like the Enterprise has a self-destruct sequence just in case they get in a jam and they really need to blow the shit up because they've almost done it a couple times.
Yeah.
Even though you knew they weren't going to.
There's a lot of possibilities that could happen with future technologies. There's a lot of ways it can go. And when I was a kid, we never could have foreseen the impacts of the internet.
Nope. I
could kind of imagine an internet in the late 80s. But I could not imagine how it would impact the earth or society. I think it was about 96 when I ordered something from Hot Topic using a credit card in my house. I thought I was fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger and fucking Running Man. Yeah. I was like, damn, I ordered something off the fucking...
Holy fuck, it's the future.
Off the computer. I'm in the future. And then...
It's like the Jetsons.
And a couple days later, it showed at my front door, and I went, man, you can shop from home. It says, what do we need these malls for? Well, I called that, didn't I?
Yeah.
What the impact in rural areas like Mississippi's, all those little downtown... All these little tiny downtown retail spots are all abandoned ruins now. Not only did Walmart get it, Walmart heard it first, and then when the internet happened and online shopping happened, that was it. That was it for fucking small town retail. Vanished. Gone.
Well, I mean, like I said, there is something to be said, going out and looking for things, and I like to do that.
There was no selection.
Yeah, I mean, I like to do that depending on what it is.
Yeah.
But for anything else, I mean, especially for just random shit that I don't feel like going, it's man, I need some fucking bleach and some, dishwashing sponges. It's I don't want to fucking go out for that.
Yeah.
Come on. I can just have the shit delivered to my doorstep and I don't have to go anyplace.
Well, you got to imagine what it was like back in the 80s for somebody in fucking Podunk, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Fucking they drive 2 miles to the little fucking intersection that had a little dollar store or something like that, general store. And what are they going to have in there for clothes? Fucking green tough skins.
Yeah.
Fucking green tough skins. Yeah.
Husky size.
Yeah, you're going to fucking husky size green tough skins. And fucking generic clothes and fucking something that looked like that damn Soviet Union. There was no selection.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that same dude all right, living in Podunk, Mississippi, you can get on there and fucking order some exotic shit that would be suitable for fucking a New York nightclub.
Yeah. You can have anything.
Anything, anywhere, at any time.
Anything.
And that just changed the fucking game. And I first got an inkling of it in the 90s. When I said, what do we need stores for? What does it matter where you live now? Because I was ordering stuff in Mississippi in the late 90s. I was like, man, fucking, I couldn't get this shit in Boston.
Yeah.
You know? Now I'm in Mississippi, I could order it.
Yeah, back in the day, I used to have to save up hundreds and hundreds of dollars so that when I went to New York, like, once a year, I could, like, buy a bunch of shit from, you know, from the cool stores up there. Cool
stores in New York and shit. Those days, it just changed everything.
And I would always save up every time I went to the UK. I was like, I got to get some, like, Doc Martens.
Yeah.
Like, back then, because you couldn't, I mean, you could get them here, but it was really expensive, like, to ship them and everything.
And then there was information flow. Somebody in California or New York, they were worldly. And then somebody in Mississippi or Alabama, they seemed like they were secluded because the news didn't flow the same way. Now everyone has the exact same access to information. The difference between a person in California and a person in Alabama is not much. They have the same amount of information that they can access. Are they accessing it? I don't know. Probably not. But they have the same access to that information.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just total game changer, total equalizer. Now it no longer matters where you are. More like matters who you are.
Like I said, I in a way, I really think that, yes, there's negative sides, but there's negative shit to everything. In a lot of ways, I think it's made it's a lot easier to, like, democratize because particularly people like, you know, like me and you that are creators, you know, and me that's a writer and shit like that, and people like, you know, like artists and shit like that, like on Etsy, it's very, very easy to, like, sell your shit to people all over the world now. Yeah,
and it's very easy to get around gatekeepers.
Yeah.
You don't need these big companies. You don't need their permission, or you don't need them to sign on to a project to make anything happen. You can make it without them. You don't need them. That's why they're going broke.
Which, like I said, that always made me really happy.
Yeah. That's why they're going broke. Fucking, you know what I mean? You can go around them. They no longer monopolize that node of control or that node of power that they had. And it's hard for multi-billion dollar entertainment corporations have a hard time competing with millions and millions of online creators doing what they want to do. Just the odds are against them.
Yeah.
You know. Because we're not spending hardly any money, and they are spending a shit ton of money, and nobody's really looking at what they're making. Not in the numbers that they used to, because it used to be you only had 4 channels. You know what I mean? 4 channels and a movie theater. You know.
Yep, that's pretty much.
It's all gone now.
All right, man. We just did a whole other hour today.
Whole other show.
Talking about fire butt roaches. Talking about dancers with acid lace sangria, talking about transhumanism. Yeah. All kind of crazy shit.
Yeah, it was a fun show.
That was pretty fun. So yeah, we'll be back again tomorrow, probably talking about another movie. I have a couple new ones that I wrote down that one of which I'll check out tonight. I want to see what mood I'm in, which one I want to watch. And so we'll be back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking about another movie. It's Monday tomorrow, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see you guys again tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, for dropping by, as always. And